Pay me my money. I need my money. Plain and simple.
Furious, devastated, the woman says she's been waiting on the village of Dolton to send her a check for missing payments for months. The owner showed us these invoices, which she says are unpaid, saying she had to tap into her savings to keep her business afloat.
It's all depleted now. So now we're in a complete rut now, and they don't even understand the positions that they have put us in.
Today on the show, we're diving into the world of economic indicators. These are the numbers that tell us how the economy is doing, things like GDP, unemployment rates, and consumer confidence. But what do these indicators really mean? How are they calculated? And how should we interpret them? We'll break it all down for you. With the help and Simple, Furious, Devastated, the woman says she's been waiting on the village of Dolton to send her a check for missing payments for months. The owner showed us these invoices, which she says are unpaid, saying she had to tap into her savings to keep her business afloat. Some experts to make sense of the numbers that shape our world.
So I'll forever be your mayor, I will forever be your supervisor, and I crown Queen as the super mayor.
Hi you guys, welcome back. So I know it's old news by now that Tiffany Henyard is no longer the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, despite her personal projections for her longevity in the seat.
You have been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been led astray.
And even though she hasn't been in the seat for some time now, that doesn't stop her from wreaking havoc on the village. This lady right here is a vendor, or was a vendor, with the village of Dolton. And she was hired on during the Tiffany Henyard administration.
The agreement was we worked twice a day, once on Saturdays, and the payment was $3,200 per month.
Now she says she is in jeopardy of losing her cleaning business.
She says she hasn't received 4 months of payment, which equal to a total of $12,800.
Not even an email sent, not even partial payment, nothing. Just no answer at all. It's just devastating.
The agreement was we worked twice a day, once on Saturdays, and the payment was $3,200 per month. Now she says she is in jeopardy of losing her cleaning business. The Shania Willil Newick was proud to support the village of Dolton and its police. Officers, she says her cleaning company TNT Cleaning Solutions was hired in 2023 to clean Dolton's police department under former Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration. The owner says the first 5 months were great. They were paid on time by the village in full, but then she says payment stopped.
You guys gotta connect the dots. DOTTS. Dots.
She says the village owes her 4 payments totaling $12,800. So upon watching this news segment, I had to stop and really look at these invoices so I could get the dates and see which ones were not paid. So let's go ahead and break this down. And while I break down these invoice due dates, I will cross-compare them to the Dolton board meeting dates and see if this woman ever came up to talk to the board or the mayor during any of the board meetings to address this unpaid bill issue, because one would think that if she is owed all this money, she would surely come to at least one board meeting so she could apply some pressure that might help speed up the process, or at the very least give her some answers as to why she wasn't getting paid. Okay, so let's start with the first bill she says wasn't paid. So this bill date was a little difficult to see, but I'm pretty sure it says 3/23/2024, and it says that it was not paid. Now let's take a look at the board meetings that came after this bill due date and see if she ever showed up to any of them asking about why she was never paid. But
Then they turn around and have a secret club meeting at the park.
so this is the Mr. Dots meeting, and I later found out that DOT stand for Democrats of Thornton Township. So he gets a pass for that, but otherwise, you guys, if you don't know who this guy is, his name is Michael Smith, and he was one of Tiffany Henyard's cronies, and he always went hard for her, and thank goodness he's not holding any seats in government as of right now. But let's move on, because this board meeting took place on 4/1/2024, and I'm just putting up all the people who went up for citizens. Address. And as you can see, the vendor lady is nowhere to be found. So she did not come to this board meeting and ask about her payments. All right? So let's move on to the board meeting after that, because maybe she was busy, maybe she wanted to give them more time to give her her payment. So then this board meeting took place 5/6/2024, and once again, I went through all the people who got up there for citizens' address, and the vendor lady was nowhere to be found once again. So after not getting paid, she didn't show up to any of those board meetings. So this next bill we're going to look at was from 5/23/2024, and as we can see, she's alleging that it was not paid either. So I don't drag this out too much. I looked at the board meeting from 63/2024, from 7/1/2004, and from 85/2024. And so far, she had not shown up to any of those board meetings, all right? So then there was another bill that came out, and that was from 8/10/2024. Now here I couldn't see if it was paid or not because of the way the news displayed these bills, but I'm assuming that she is claiming that this was one of the bills she didn't get paid for. So then I was thinking, wait, the trustees had meetings at the Park District as...
You should be glad someone is running for mayor and giving you an option and trying to help build this village back up.
You should be glad that you have a mayor that looks the part, plays the part, and acts the part.
You should be glad someone is running, because I'm going to continue to be producing my videos. I'm going to continue to be producing receipts.
So I will take facts. I will show receipts.
I'm going to continue to be producing receipts. And the sad part about it is, it's a lot of you seniors.
I never seen someone pay so much net among older people in my life.
You can't even respect them for the way they act. This is ridiculous. Women in their 60s and 70s just acting a flat-out nut, acting a flat-out fool.
You know, I'm older. I should never be out there.
So I went to the board meeting on 9/2/2024, and look who we run into. Now, some of you may know who she is, but if you don't, this woman's name is Cassandra Hobson Jordan, and she threw her hat in the race for mayor as well. Needless to say, she did not win, and thank goodness she didn't win. She's basically a Tiffany Henyard on steroids, okay? And you guys, to give you an example, I'm gonna show you a little video of a side-by-side comparison of her and Tiffany Henyard talking, and you'll be able to see some of the same mannerisms, the same speech, and the just overall disrespectful nature that they exhibit. Let's watch.
I am a vendor here in Dolton. I'm not a resident. I was previously cleaning the police department. I'm here because we are owed 4 months of pay. Even when we wasn't getting paid, we still showed up each and every day to do our job.
So yeah, you guys, Dolton dodged a bullet with her. Thank goodness they saw right through her and didn't even give her the time of day. But back to this meeting, because as you guys can see, I went through all the public speakers once again, and the vendor lady did not show up to this one either. Let's move on to the next meeting, and now we're at the meeting that was held on 1/7/2024. So far from the first bill I showed you guys, which I believe said 3/23/2024, it's been about 7 months, okay? Not quite, but just about that. She has not been paid for those months, but do you think she showed up to that board meeting? And no, she didn't show up to that one either. So let's move on to this last bill, which was due on 10/23/2024, and it says that one wasn't paid either. Let's go on to this last board meeting, and I'm pretty sure you guys can guess. Yes, ding, 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 she finally shows up.
I don't reside in Dolton, but I am a contractor who lives in Dolton. I'm the owner of SNS Lawn Service. I met the mayor out when I was in the field, and she asked me to do a job for her. And when I rode around Dolton, I knew that job needed to be done right away. So I stopped what I was doing. All my clients in the city that I stay in came out here and took care of 160 properties in 2 weeks.
So I've wrapped my brain over and over, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why someone would continue to do a job for the same person or the same entity when they haven't gotten paid for several months of their service. I mean, if you don't pay me for what I owed, I'm done with you. I have too many bills and responsibilities to be out here volunteering. Okay, so after listening to this lady say she continued to work after not being paid, it led me to a couple of reasons as to why someone might not come forward and demand payment, and one of them is maybe they've been getting paid under the table and they don't want to draw attention to themselves or the person they've been working for. Another reason could be someone kept promising them that they would eventually get paid, so that's why they stayed on and waited for that large pay. Either way, I don't think it's good business sense or just good common sense to carry on like that. And so one of the other reasons I feel this could have happened is that Tiffany and company went rogue and gave this woman a contract without the board's approval. I know you guys are like, no, she always does things above the board. How dare you accuse her of such things? I know it's hard to believe, but maybe she did that, you guys. So this lady is not the only vendor who came up and addressed the board and Tiffany about not getting paid. Let's take a look at this guy right here. This is someone who came into the village, did some work because Mayor Tiffany Henyard gave him the green light to do so, even though there was never an RFP presented for the work that he was going to be doing with the village.
And if this my whole entire route don't get done, it gets done every 2 weeks, 160 properties. If you go down my whole route, I know some of these residents have seen a lot of these buildings, a lot of these streets that was messed up. These houses are done. The residents that asked the trees is always gutters, I cut them. And I cut them for a little bit of nothing. But the fact is that I seen that last board meeting, and I seen that we were taken out of getting paid. That wasn't the right thing to do.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem if you decided to take on that large task without any type of contract that was approved by the Board of Trustees, sir. And it sounds like Tiffany Henyard just went rogue and went ahead and hired this guy and let him do whatever he wanted and guaranteed him that he was going to get paid no matter what.
Town is bankrupt in 6 months or 10 months. Who's going to get the blame? Us.
I beg to differ, sir. Yes, it absolutely was the right thing for the board to do. What wasn't the right thing to do was for him to just come up in a village and start performing tasks. Just on the mayor's word, when the board is the one that protects the purse, right?